Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Good day, my Kardec Radio Spiritist friends. We come to you once again with a recording from the book, The Way, the Truth, and the Life, authored by the Spirit Emmanuel through the mediumship of Francisco Chico Xavier. Today's chapter reading is number 77, entitled One Should Reflect. James recorded under chapter 1, verse 19, the following: But everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Emmanuel writes, analyzing, reflecting, and pondering are actually all forms of listening. It is essential for people to always be ready to determine the meaning of the voices, suggestions, and situations around them. Otherwise, it is impossible to carry out the simplest task in the ministry of the good. Only after listening carefully can a person speak in an edifying manner while on the pathway of evolution. Those who listen, learn. Those who speak, teach. One keeps, the other spreads. In the good experience, only those who keep can spread successfully. Therefore, James's advice represents an undying appropriateness. It is important to remember that just as people should be quick to listen and moderate with their words, they should be slow to anger. Of course, each and every day, the human pathway offers various reasons to act quickly. However, whenever possible, it is best to put off till the next day any expression of anger, for that will often provide an opportunity to examine the matter more wisely, and the cause of the anger might disappear. We should bear in mind that all are born to carry out specific functions. If they always listen, they can be sure that they will serenely achieve the purpose for which they are destined. But if they are always talking, they might lose sight of their endeavor halfway through it, and if they are always getting angry, they will probably not accomplish anything at all. Ah, my friends, the wise words of Emmanuel. Quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Emmanuel says, analyzing, reflecting, pondering. This is part of listening. Always being aware of what is happening around us. This is part of that quick to listen. We overhear what another conversation is being said. People are saying something and we're aware of it. Or we're listening to a friend or a neighbor with some type of suggestion. Or other situations that we might find ourselves in. We must be patient when we are interacting with people, to listen intently to what is being said so we understand their side. Or on situations of a political nature, disagreements over what should one do when faced with a particular problem, such as a divorce, maybe parenting issue, or a financial discrepancy. And of course, this all takes energy to listen and to listen patiently, not lose our cool. But however, many times we're all too anxious to speak our side of the story, to offer a solution even before our friend or neighbor or even a stranger has finished their statement. Does the virtue patience come to mind? Possibly humility? Wrapped up in Emmanuel's advice is the practice of several virtues. Number one, of course, we just mentioned patience. Waiting, waiting, and waiting. This is part of that quick to listen. Listen and learn. And when we have absorbed enough information and have analyzed whether we can or cannot offer a response, then we speak, but we speak as a teacher with empathy. Or if we lack the knowledge, then this also fulfills Emmanuel's advice for those who speak and teach, because we demonstrate our humility and admit that we lack sufficient knowledge to have an opinion or to recommend something. Empathy is needed in many of these situations. We must put ourselves in other person's position. Or, as that statement goes, put ourselves in the other person's shoes. And when it comes to slow to anger, we must display, again, that virtue of patience. Emmanuel recommends restrain that anger till the following day, if possible. How do we practice these virtues? We must make them a habit. And when it's a habit, it becomes automatic with us. So waiting in a line, say in a grocery store or at a retail store, this is patience. Waiting on the phone until somebody comes back on to give us an answer to a question we might have. This is practicing patience. The more we make it a practice and it becomes slowly over several weeks, maybe even a month, then it'll become a habit. And it prepares us for these more difficult situations when our children or even ourselves do something or we forget to do something and we lose our composure and we want to outpour some anger. However, we can choose to take that breath, we can calm down, and we can wait 5 or 10 minutes or even a day, as Emmanuel advised, to revisit the situation. Emmanuel's advice must be practiced on a constant basis. To make them habits, always listen and reflect before deciding to speak, making sure our words contain understanding and concern while maintaining a patient demeanor. Remember our role model for how we should live our lives. Christ always listened and then reflected and taught from a third-party perspective. And of course, always displayed patience and love. That's it, my friends, for this chapter 77. And we'd like to offer a short recommendation to continue throughout our day, at least once or twice, to think about our brothers and sisters who have been stricken with the COVID-19 and to offer prayers for them and all of the medical personnel and maintenance personnel associated with the hospitals and hospices that are taking care of these people, and even many family members. Our hearts must go out to them and our prayers. Take care, my Kardec Radio friends.